Deep in the ancient swamps and whispering pines of Mississippi, where the mist crawls low and the moon glows like a dying ember behind torn clouds, there lingers a legend older than memory itself. A shadow that moves when no wind blows, a presence that feeds not on flesh but on fear, and its name, carried through centuries of Choctaw whispers, is Nalusa Falaya, the slithering being of living darkness. They say it crawls like smoke through the forest floor, half man and half serpent, its body long and thin as a nightmare stretched too far, its face hidden beneath oily black skin that absorbs light itself, and in the stillness of night it drags its spine across the earth, hissing the names of those who dare to wander too deep. Many call it the soul eater, for its gift is not to kill the body, but to drink the soul slowly until nothing remains but an empty shell wandering aimlessly, eyes blank, heart hollow, whispering its own death song. Long ago, before settlers came, the Choctaw people spoke of the Nalusa Falaya as both guardian and curse, a creature born from the sins of man, the darkness expelled by the earth when humanity first learned deceit. They say it emerged from the belly of the world, from mud thick with sorrow and blood, taking shape from mankind's hidden fears, crawling into existence whenever the balance of nature was broken. Even today, elders warn that when you lie or betray the trust of your kin, the creature senses it, smells. It slithers closer, drawn by the scent of guilt that only it can taste. The Nalusa Falaya hides in the borderlands between the physical and the spirit world, a liminal being that moves where shadows meet breath, and those who glimpse it never see it directly, for its form bends perception. Eyes blur, time slows, the forest distorts, and the air feels thick, as if the world itself holds its breath. Travelers have spoken of waking up in the swamp with no memory of how they got there, mud smeared over their eyes, their ears filled with whispers telling them to dig until they find the truth buried within. One man from a nearby village once described meeting a tall, lean stranger dressed in black, his skin darker than the night, his voice soft but cold, asking questions that cut like blades. "Do you remember what you did?" And before the man could answer, the figure dissolved into 1,000 tendrils of smoke, leaving behind the scent of earth and rot. Legends claim that the Nalusa Falaya can enter dreams, wrapping around the sleeping mind like a vine, showing visions of buried guilt, forgotten crimes, or the death that waits ahead. If the dreamer wakes before dawn, they live. But if the creature finishes whispering its secret name, the soul never wakes again. Some call it the Choctaw demon. Others say it is not evil at all, merely balance, the darkness that follows every light, the shadow of conscience that cannot die. There are tales of warriors who summoned it to curse enemies, carving its sigil, a coiled serpent around an eye, into tree trunks soaked in blood, and as the smoke rose from their fires, the forest would begin to move, silent and alive, and by sunrise, their enemies would vanish, leaving behind only a trail in the mud that led to nowhere. Over centuries, settlers came, and the old stories faded, but the swamps never changed. Still black, still breathing, still waiting, and people began to disappear. Hunters lost their way. Though they knew the paths by heart, campers reported hearing slithering sounds near their tents. Though the ground was dry, and more than once, rangers found circles of disturbed earth with deep grooves like something had crawled out from below. In one haunting case from the 1960s, a man named Robert Hendricks claimed he saw a man-shaped shadow crawling backwards near the Talahata Creek. His dog ran into the woods and never returned, and Robert himself vanished 2 days later. When they found his body, there were no wounds, no blood, only a look of terror frozen on his face and the faint imprint of scales along his neck. Skeptics said it was hallucination, swamp gas or folklore poisoning the mind, but locals know better. They keep their lights off when the fog rolls in. They burn cedar to cleanse the air, and they never, ever answer when the forest calls their name. The strangest part is that the Nalusa Falaya doesn't always attack. Sometimes it watches, follows, learns. Its purpose is patience, its hunger eternal. It feeds not on screams, but on the silence after them. Modern paranormal researchers who've tried to study the legend claim the creature might be a tulpa, a manifestation of fear itself, given form by generations of belief. But how, then, do you explain the claw marks found 12 feet up a cypress tree, or the black residue that corrodes metal and smells like burnt bone? One investigator's recorder captured a faint voice in Choctaw saying, "You have lied to yourself," moments before his equipment died. He was found days later, alive but catatonic, muttering about eyes in the water. In recent years, viral videos have shown dark figures crawling in the woods at impossible angles, though most are dismissed as hoaxes. Yet those who've truly seen it never film again. They move away, quit their jobs, stop sleeping near mirrors because the Nalusa Falaya loves reflection. They say that's how it crosses into your home. It begins with a glimpse, a shadow stretching too long across your floor. Then a whisper behind your ear that isn't yours. Once invited, it doesn't leave. Its voice will echo in your mind, smooth and calm, reminding you of every wrong you've ever buried, until you start to dig. And when you finally look up, you'll see it. Tall, thin, slick as tar, with hollow eyes glowing faintly blue like drowned stars. And that's when you understand the final truth of the legend. The Nalusa Falaya isn't coming for you. It's coming from you. The dark reflection of everything you hide, the sin made flesh, the guilt given breath. So if you ever walk alone through the deep woods of Mississippi, and the night grows too quiet, too heavy, and your own footsteps begin to echo wrong, don't turn around. Keep walking. Keep praying. Because somewhere in the fog a shadow slithers close, dragging its spine through the dirt, whispering your name, waiting for you to look back. And when you do, you'll see nothing but yourself, staring through the eyes of Nalusa Falaya.